Hey everyone, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to build a software company from scratch with no experience or skills required. Now, this is going to be a step-by-step tutorial showing you exactly how you can build your very own software in 2025. And so we have a lot to talk about in this video, but I'm super excited for this because now that we are in this age of AI, there's a tool called Lovable that I've been using to build software, and it absolutely will blow your mind. I'm really not hyping it up. I'm serious about that. So let me show you how to use it and how to build this out. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you an example. I'm going to build out, say, like a document signing software, something similar to like DocuSign, which is a $15 billion company. And I'm going to build something pretty similar to it in about 20 minutes. So let's go ahead and get started with it right now. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to lovable.dev. I have a link to it down below in the description of this video if you want to follow along. But what's really interesting about Lovable is that you can essentially build software without needing to know how to code, which is probably the biggest barrier of entry to building software for the past 10 years. It's why I struggled to build software, was because I'm really not good at coding, and you don't have to know anything about code. Lovable will essentially code for you. And so all we have to do here, and I'm going to walk you through the entire platform, but all you really have to do is just write a prompt and tell Lovable what you're looking to build. This could be anything from a web app, something like a document signing platform, or it could be a nutrition tracker. It could be a calculator that will calculate for landlords how much rent and the cap rate of their properties. It could be really anything that you can put your mind to that you want to build. You can just type it in and Lovable will help you to create that and then iterate on all the different things that you're going to need to do. It'll also do all the backend stuff, which I know can sound confusing, but things like integrating Stripe so you can collect payments on your app, handling authentication, and so that people can create accounts, they can have logins and passwords for your website or for your app. So there's lots to cover here, but the first step of the process is going to be simply creating a prompt for Lovable. So once you've created an account, you're going to write a prompt in here of what you're looking to build. So for me, it's going to be that document signing platform that I want to build. The first prompt is actually very important here. So I would suggest writing something a little bit detailed. If you just say, make a document signing app for me, it will make a bare bones one, but you want to give it a good amount of detail on specifically what you're looking for, because you really want to nail the first prompt. I've used Lovable many times, and this is something that I think is pretty important, is getting a really good first prompt here. So let me go ahead and draft up what exactly I'm looking for in this document signing piece of software that I want to build. Okay, so what I did is I filled out some basics here of what I'm looking for. It's going to be called Santrel Sign, and the core features of this, I want people to be able to upload PDFs or other documents and then have the ability to drag and drop signature fields, send for signature via email. So we're going to have to integrate with that. Lovable is going to help us do that. And then track signing status and a lot of the other important features that a document signing platform might need. Okay, so once I have the basic prompt here, I'm just going to click on this button here. And now Lovable is going to start building this out for us. And they're actually coding this for us. And so we don't have to review code. It's not like Cursor or other types of vibe coding where you have to have technical knowledge. You really don't need technical knowledge for this, and I'll show you as we go through it, but it's going to tell us specifically what it's doing right now with the technical implementation. We don't have to understand all of it, because if you have a question or you don't understand something, you can just ask Lovable and you can chat with it, and it will help you to understand the things that you should continue working on and how to streamline it and make it really a product that can actually exist and go into the market as you push it out into the world later on. So it's building it out for us. This could take up to a couple minutes, so good time to just get up and grab some coffee or something, and let's come back to it in a few minutes. Now, another tip here while we are waiting for it to create our first draft, you can actually upload documents and photos and other things that you want to build off of. So for example, let's say that you have some things that you've drawn up in Figma. You can connect that here into Lovable, and it can take those designs and import them directly into the software or the website that you're attempting to build. Okay, and so after about 2 minutes, we have our first version that Lovable has created for us, and we can see just right off the bat, this looks pretty good. I mean, this looks like a legitimate document signing company software, and we can actually send this out and start using this and selling this. But there's some other steps that we have to do before we finalize it. So let's start off with the basics here before we talk about the back end stuff of how to actually make this work. Let's say that we want to change some colors on this. Maybe we don't want it to be blue, but instead we want the color scheme to be green. I can just ask it right here. Okay, so I just asked, and Lovable is going to go ahead and start fixing that, and it's going to change it from blue to green without me having to click through and drag and drop like what you would have to do on like a website website builder or something. So much easier this way. Okay, so we've changed the color scheme to green instead of blue. I think it looks a little bit better. And so now we can get started on making sure that this actually works. So as you can see from the first draft, if I just click on start signing for free, we might be prompted to create an account, but we're not going to be able to actually do it because we have to connect to something called Supabase. The way to do this is you're going to go to the upper right corner and there's this little green thing here you'll have to click on, okay? And this is called Manage Supabase. So you can connect to Supabase. Now, if at any time you have questions or issues, you can just ask Lovable. So let me actually ask Lovable right now and say that, how do I make sure that people can create accounts? All right, so I asked Lovable about authentication, making sure people can create accounts. And it said that we have it set up, but it's just for mock accounts, mock authentication. And if we actually want to make this go live and we want this to work, we're going to need to indeed do that Supabase integration. And so we're going to go up here. We're going to click on Manage Supabase. And this is free. So you can just connect Supabase and click on Connect a Project and then create a new project. And so this is going to take you over to Supabase. If you don't have an account there, you can just create one. I already have one set up. So all I have to do here is just set up the project name. Let's call this Santrel Sign, create a password, and then create this new project on Supabase. All right, so now that we have Supabase set up, we can go back to Lovable and we can go to Project, click on Connect a Project, hover over our account, our organization, and then click on the project. And now it's going to connect that so that we can start building out the back end here. And once again, I don't want to get too technical because the truth is you don't have to be a technical person in order to do this. But now that we have this project connected to Supabase, we can X out of this and now we can tell it to start actually working on this, okay? All right, so Lovable knows that we have connected to Supabase and it's gonna offer up some things that it can start working on. So creating the ability to have those user accounts and log in. Yes, I want to do that. And I'm just saying, yes, let's set up authentication. So they're gonna go ahead and get working on that while I go and, I don't know, just like sit around and wait for about a minute and do nothing. All right, so it's throwing up a lot of things here, but once again, you don't really have to know what all of this means. This is just the actual database structure for user profiles. So if you don't understand it, don't worry. You can just click on apply changes. You can always go back and reverse anything that it has done if you didn't like it. Now, another really important tip here is that for each prompt, when you are talking to Lovable, I suggest doing one thing at a time. So for example, if you tell Lovable to do 15 different things all in the same prompt, it can get a little bit confused and I find it better to just do one at a time. So for this one, I'm saying set up authentication. Next one, I'm going to say, let's make sure that the uploading document section is correct. And I'll just do one per prompt rather than just like loading in a page worth of requests all at the same time. It can kind of bog down the system. It's better to just do one at a time for better results. So there we go. They've set up real user authentication for us and we can actually go and attempt to try it here, right? So let's start signing for free and then I'm just going to fill in my info and create that account. So let's test it out, make sure it works. Okay, so I've just created an account and I'm going to click sign in. See if it actually works. Okay, so now I'm inside of the Santrel Sign dashboard and we can see some potential documents here, right? So let me actually try it out and see if it works. And if it doesn't, we'll have to talk to Lovable and have them fix it. So I'm gonna click on upload document and let me just try uploading something. So I have added a file and I'm clicking upload and that file has been uploaded. Now let's see, where does it show up here? Okay, I don't see it showing up. So let's go back to Lovable and let's ask it what's going on here. So just in plain English, I said, when I upload a document to sign, I don't see it show up. Can we fix that? And it looks like that's because the upload modal was only simulated. And so you'll see this happen a lot when you're building with Lovable is that these will be simulated things, but you just have to actually go in and make sure that they do it on the back end. And so it's going to take care of that for us and make sure that we have that upload functionality to add those documents to the document list. Okay, so now it looks like when we do that, they will appear in our document list as drafts. So let's go back to here, let's refresh, and let's try uploading a document. And it looks like it's still not showing up. So we're just gonna have to nudge it a little bit more and just say, look, I think something's still wrong. And Lovable will troubleshoot for you. I mean, if I was coding this myself, I would spend all day not understanding where the document went that I just uploaded. And it just found out that, it was actually being added to the use documents hook. Like there might be a synchronization problem. So it's checking for that. And then it's probably going to fix it here for us. And now we're going to upload it again. Okay, I'm going to upload this. All right, so Lovable went ahead and fixed that for us. And it wasn't showing up for a little while, but they went through, they debugged, they fixed the problem. They were, in local storage or something. So now this has been solved. And when I upload a document, it will show up here in the document section. And then we can click on view, and we're basically just going through and testing out the software and seeing where the problems are or things that we would like to fix or change, and then just telling Lovable to change it and they'll take care of it. But now the next problem that we have is that when we click on view, it's showing us a different form. This is not one that we just uploaded here. So let's go back here, and this is going to be the next thing that we're going to troubleshoot. Now you're going to go back and forth. This could take you, maybe a couple of hours to really perfect it. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a piece of software that works extremely well that would probably have otherwise cost tens of thousands of dollars of paying developers going back and forth on all of the small issues that are popping up here. So it's going to fix that for us right now. Okay, so now let's check on it. We're going to click on view, and we have some progress. We have the done pasture fact sheet PDF. That is the right name of it, but the document preview, it looks like it's still having some issues here. And so now I'm just going to go back and forth and have this fixed so that everything looks correct here. And it looks like the problem was that we actually need to store the file somewhere, and so we need to add that PDF viewer component to render the PDF content and some other things. So yes, I want that PDF viewing functionality. I'm also, when I'm talking to Lovable, I'm just having terrible spelling errors, but I don't really care. I'm just mashing the keyboard and it understands me, which is pretty great. So I'm going to continue to build this out and make sure that we can, when we upload the document, we can view it. And right now it's being blocked by Chrome. So I'll talk to Lovable. They'll help me take care of that. But what I actually want to do right now is I want to show you some things that might pertain to you when you're building software using Lovable. So I want to show you how to set up payments, how to connect to Stripe, which is going to be very important if you plan on making any money with this potential software that you might be building. And I also want to show you some other features and things as well, like making sure that we're emailing people who are coming to our platform. You can connect this with various different email platforms. That's going to be something very important. So right now, what I want to do is I want to add a tab at the top that's going to have an upgrade to premium option. And that's going to be whatever paywall we set for that. Maybe like after they do one document or after they use it for a week, then they have to start paying us $12.99 a month, right? Let's just say that. So now we're getting started on this, and it's going to help us with this Stripe integration. We're just going to have to give it some more information here. So we already have Supabase set up for it, but it wants to have our Stripe account set up. We need to go and do that. And then we're going to give our Stripe secret key so that it can integrate it into your software and it will take care of the backend side of it. Okay. So right now, in the meantime, it's just going to work on creating that upgrade button and the page structure. So let's give it a couple minutes here. And there we go. It just popped up right there. So that looks good. We're going to have to give it our Stripe info. I can go over separately to Stripe and create an account and set that up and give it that key. But let's click on the upgrade button here and see how it's looking. It's looking pretty good. And we can change up all of this, different stuff here. If we want to change the wording here, we can just tell it what specific words we want to change, or we can make our own and we can just upload that and it will put that in there for us. But that looks pretty good for something that just took me 30 seconds. I'm going to go back and just work a little bit more on fixing up the actual document signing process and make that more smooth. This could, take me a little bit of some time to go back and forth with it over the day, but I really want to make this good. Now, once you feel like you have built something that you're proud of and you want to get this out into the world and start running it, you just have to go into the upper right corner and click on publish. Now, when you do that, you're going to see some warnings from Supabase, and these are really helpful as well. So if we click on them, it'll take us over to Supabase and tell us some of the things that it thinks we should fix before we go live with it. So we have leaked password protection disabled. We have this thing as well. And then we have function search path mutable, and it'll describe what that is. So it detects functions where the search path parameter is not set. We can go back and fix all of these if we would like. I would recommend doing that and reviewing that security before you publish it so that nothing bad happens. But let's say that you are ready to go. You can either click publish or you can click on custom domains. And if you already have a domain, you can connect it right here. And so, this could be any domain that you can think of. If you bought it on some other website, you can connect it right here. You can also purchase a domain. Lovable will connect you with a domain broker. So you can do that, or you can publish it without having any of those special domains. So I'm going to click on publish here. All right. And just like that, we have our software live and running. Let me take it over to a different tab and let's test it out and see how it looks. So here's the page. It's looking nice, and I can just sign in and I can create that account, and we can see this upgrade button that we just created, remember, and we can upgrade upgrade now. We can pay for it. We can go over to upload document. Let me add something here. So here is our document that we just uploaded. Let's click on view, make sure it works. And there we go. This is the document that we have uploaded, and maybe we want a signature somewhere on here. And so this is the basics of it, right? There's a lot of things that we still need to fix here, admittedly, but I wanted to make this a shorter tutorial showing you how to set this up. We obviously would need to do some other things. And so here we even have the option to manage signers, right? And we can send it for signature. So we can send it out to any email that we would like to send it to, right? We want to send it to this guy named Nate. Maybe we want to add another signer here. We can send it to a guy named Mike, and we can even add a little thing in there and then click send for signature. So there we go. The document was sent to that signer. That's the basics of how to build out an app or piece of software using Lovable. This is a tool that has really changed the game when it comes to building software in 2025. I really do recommend using it. So I'll leave a link to it down below for you to check out. It is free to use. There are upgrades as well. So you can have the free plan, the pro plan, the enterprise plan, where you get a certain amount of credits per month to build out what you are looking for. But I really could not recommend it more. Go ahead, check it out, and I'll see everybody sometime in a future video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. See you next time.